My brother want to see you. I said, who? Michael. Michael? Michael want to see me? I'm the least of the individual that people want to see. I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. I went to see him. He said he was in agreement with me traveling with him. And I told him that I would be able to help. He couldn't sleep. He was in a very bad emotional state. 2004. Okay. I was with him from February until September. At the ending of September, I told him, I said, you know, you're singing, you feel good, you're looking good, I'm leaving. He said, don't leave me. I said, why? He said, I want you by my side, but I have a business to build. But I love Michael. Michael, beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful brother. I gave Michael an intracellular chelation. I'm going to clean every cell that makes up every organ that total his biological structure. Because he was full of a whole lot of drugs, you know, the pharmaceutical drugs. Yeah. Couldn't sleep. His nerve was shattered. So I began treating him. The ending of the period, he was doing good, and I left. Yeah. We have to remember this, that whenever you make a statement that goes against the grain, you better be prepared. You better be prepared. The judge said that I had to bring one of every patient that I had cured. I was supposed to take 9. I took 77.
You took 77 patients in court with you?
That's correct. I knew that my brain was not the same as your brain or any other brain, right? Mm-hmm. We're unique. Yeah. So when I make a statement, they're going to take my statement and pit it against philosophy. It doesn't fit. I represent an entity that isn't philosophical.
Where you have a patient that has AIDS, and then the patient no longer has AIDS. Can you walk us through that?
Of course. When the first patient was a brother in Boston named Michael White, and a sister, she's from D.C. She said, Dr. Sebi, my brother has AIDS in Boston. So what do you do? I said, well, I'm going to send him the compound. The compound that I made were made to cleanse the cells. They come in the category of phosphates, carbonates, iodides, and bromides. Now we are entering the science of biochemistry. These are food and vitalizers. I remove from the man's diet lactose, uric acid, and carbonic acid, milk, starches, and meat. By removing these things from his diet and then cleansing his cells, he began to see recovery in 24 hours. What I've done was to discontinue anything that had glucose. Glucose is the underlying enemy. Whenever you indulge in glucose, it would be difficult to lose fat. I live in Honduras and California. In Honduras, I discovered a plant known as Cusca.
Okay.
Cusca is a plant that the Maya used to use, and they used another one known as the teosinte.
Okay.
I eat those plants. Those plants doesn't have starch or glucose. Uh-huh. You will look at your body losing weight and you're going to get frightened.
You use the word frightened. I've been afraid, I've been scared since I heard you say that you gave up food for 64 days. What did you do during that 64-day period of time that sustained you, that gave you enough energy to just even get up out of the bed?
Well, I was in the village of Usha in Honduras. We have thermal waters there. We have a thermal water there that has a pH of 9.8. A pH of 9.8, meaning that this substance has a high level of oxygen. And it is oxygen that the body needs, not rice or beans or a piece of meat. It needs oxygen. That is the fuel of the body. So I drink the water, and I would eat that cusca. This is a plant that I just discovered lately that the Maya used to eat. Okay. Cusca is delicious. It tastes like cucumber. So I ate that, the cusca plant, I drink the water, and that was it.
And did you have like what would be your normal kind of everyday routine while you went that long without water? I hear you say you were coming to Philadelphia
to do a speech.
To speak. So you were traveling. It's not like you were bedridden. You were active.
No, I wasn't bedridden. I wasn't bedridden at all. I was working in the village because I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot of work to do in the village, building these huts and directing certain programs, the organic electric agriculture program that I have going. So I was busy. You'd be surprised what water does. You see, water, I learned the uses of water in Ecuador. The people of Vilcabamba, their diet is 78% water, 22% solid. Because the body doesn't need that solid food. It needs fuel, and the fuel comes oxygen and water. Gene food consistency. Your cellular predisposition determines what you should eat. So I'm schizophrenic, paranoia, I'm impotent, I'm diabetic, I'm asthmatic from birth, so I go to Mexico. And the man asks me, where are you from? I said, I am from Honduras. He said, we cannot talk. I said, why? Because black folks doesn't come from Honduras.
Okay.
Maya come from Honduras. Maya and Paya and Lenca. Oh, I'm from Africa. Now we're talking. Do you believe that God was drunk when he put black people in Africa? I said, no. Well, do you believe that he put a diet there for you? I said, sure. And what's the diet? Rice and beans and potatoes and yams and cows and hogs and lamb. He said, not so. That's not the diet of an African. What is the diet of an African? He said, the same as the Toltec and the Olmec. All that which is native. I represent an entity that isn't philosophical. Well, I'm an African, and we have to remember that. You see, we think that we could take a philosophy out of Europe or China and inculcate that into the African brain. It does not resonate. It cannot resonate. You cannot be yourself when you've been adulterated. Being that I am an African, I'm going to look at things the African way. And the African way seems to reduce things to the least common denominator. And guess what I found? That there's only one disease. Not two, not three, one. When I opened my big black mouth and told the judge that, oh my God. What did you say? I said, Your Honor, there's only one disease.
And what is
Could you substantiate that?
Okay.
Of course. Could you substantiate that? Of course, I'm not going to just deploy a bunch of empty words. I represent a country. I represent a people. I represent a race. And I represent myself. I'm not going to undermine myself. There's only one disease. The judge said, what is it? I said, you already know. She said, try me. It was a woman, Ann Thelman. I said, Your Honor, when someone has sinusitis, what is obstructing the nasal passage? She said, mucus. And when another has bronchitis, what is obstructing the bronchial tubes? She said, mucus. And when another has pneumonia, what's covering the cells of the lungs? She said, mucus. Dr. Victor Herbert, who is defending the state of New York, jumped up and said, what about AIDS? You and your one disease theory? I said, Your Honor, this doctor is saying that I believe in a theory. I am the last individual on earth that could believe in a theory. I do not lend myself to theories or philosophy. Either I know or I don't know. He's talking about theories. I'm talking about reality, not philosophy. She said, and what about AIDS? I said, well, he asked about, he want to know where the mucus. I said, Your Honor, have you been to an AIDS ward? She said, yes. I said, what is it that the AIDS spits up every 5 minutes? He said, mucus. Where is the mucus? It's in the skin, it's in the blood, and the lymphatic system that makes up the immunological system. That is where you find the mucus, Mr. Victor Herbert. How can you disagree with truth? You see, what happened, I didn't go to school. I have never been to school. I have never attended any school, kindergarten, grade school, high school, or anything. But I had parents that kept me anchored to the African way, not to the Chinese way, not to the European way, not to the Japanese way. I am an African.
Were your patients all of color?
No, no. I have more white patients than I have black. I was concerned with the black leadership of America, not medical science. When I had cured these people of sickle cell and lupus and herpes and blindness, I was happy. I said, now I could go to all the leaders. I could go to Minister Farrakhan. I could go to Jesse Jackson. I could go to Al Sharpton. I could go to Oprah Winfrey. But what I found out, I was wrong. They are not interested in the healing of any black people.
That's an explosive claim.
That is not an explosive statement. That is a reality. There isn't a black leader in America that is interested in the health of the black race.
Do you say that because they refuse to interact with you?
They are not in the position to respond. If they were, my first case of AIDS was cured in 1984. And since then, we've been curing people of lupus and herpes and cancer and blindness. Not one black leader ever said, well, let us help the brother. What I was concerned with, not medical science, because I know that they're the one that is violating. I am not the violator. Hippocrates did not establish the school of medicine by using chemicals, because the chemicals cannot assimilate. A chemical cannot assimilate with the human body. An herb can, because they are electrical. Herbs are electrical, and we have yet to understand that.